Thank you for joining us, everybody. We're going to get our show started in just a couple of seconds here. Want to remind everybody, if you could just share this broadcast, we would greatly appreciate it because it would help us get more views and make the show a lot more exciting for live interaction. So please, don't forget to share the broadcast. We also appreciate all of your likes and comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and get ready for Spit the Ritz. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to this show that was entirely produced and developed by the people sitting in front of you. Jessy Meadows and Frankie Almost. Brought to you in part by Rolling Hills Productions. Live from Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Spit the Ritz. Jessy, if you would be so kind, would you please tell us what today's show's about?
Okay, today we have how Frankie and I met, products doing the opposite of what they're supposed to, diet in general, Trump's immigration ban, family and real friends, and how you pick your family.
Now, here is your host, Frankie Almost!
All right. Welcome, everybody, to authentic episode 1. Apologize for any glitches we might have had in the broadcast. There's some tricky situations. We have some new software and editing gear, so... but we just want to make sure that you guys engage yourself, because the better, this show is better if it's live interacted. So anyway, we have in the studio right now Jessy Meadows.
Hello, everybody.
And if you notice behind her, let me switch to camera 2 and let me just show you what's going on here. If you notice in camera 2 here, if I just cut there's a bunch of paints behind her. Well, we have, later on in the show today, we have Art Party for You, which is a face painting company and party company here in Las Vegas. And hopefully, if everything goes right, Ed Mueller is going to be face painting Jess.
It's going to be fun. It's
right?
going to be a unicorn or something.
Right? A unicorn? Okay.
Yeah.
And hopefully that'll happen while we talk to his wife, Cheri, about their company and all the things that they're doing. So anyway, let's get kicked off here and just start the show. And let's see what we got going on here. The story of how we met. That's what we wanted to...
Okay, this is interesting, yeah.
I know that a bunch of you are watching this and you're saying, how did an ugly geezer get a woman like that? Well, let me just tell you the story. So, it was 2012... I'm trying to adjust my mic here, and I apologize about that. Like I said, we're still working out a little bit of kinks, and it's live, so I apologize. It was 2012, and I was dating this girl. And so we had been dating for about 6 months, and she was starting to move her stuff in, and her dog was at my house. This other girl, not being her, by the way. And she also worked at a shop in the Forum Shops at Caesars, here in Las Vegas, and she worked at a retail store, and when she was at work, a famous Olympian speed skater, the most decorated, and I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to give him props, because you'll figure out why in a second here, but the most decorated speed skater of Winter Olympics came into her work and swooped her off her feet while I was sitting at the apartment taking care of her dog. So... Lo and behold, sorry, we had some ruckus in there. Okay, so lo and behold, I had to go to a wedding that I had to do. It was my nephew was getting married, and it was up in Tahoe, and it was me and the girl that I was dating at the time were supposed to go as a couple, and just literally 2 days before this all happened, and this happened in 2012 in the summer, during the Summer Olympics, and said Olympian was actually hosting doing segments of the Olympics and stuff like that. So for the 2 days prior going up to Tahoe for the wedding, and just after having her come and get all her crap, including her dog, out of my apartment to go be with the guy, I fall asleep with the TV on because I have like night terrors and I need I'm one of those scaredy cats that needs voice going all the time. It drives her nuts, but I always need some kind of TV on. So I was sleeping and I woke up to all these commercials and stuff with said guy, and it was just a nightmare. So anyway, I get up to Tahoe, and my nephew's getting married, and of course I'm moping around because I feel like, how often does the girl that you're dating and starting to really care for get swooped off her feet by a celebrity? I mean, it was the most amazingly weird thing that ever happened to me. So anyway, we went to a wedding rehearsal, and as we were at the wedding rehearsal, I'm sitting here watching people getting married to top it all off. I'm just like, great. So I excused myself after the wedding rehearsal was over, and I walked across the street to a local. Am I allowed to say their name? I don't see why not. I walked across the street to Harris.
Yeah.
And anybody that knows me, I don't drink during the middle of the day. And but because of the circumstances that was happening, I decided to just find a little hole in the back and start drinking my sorrows away. So I'm sitting there drinking, and I'm like having all these feelings about, oh God, how could this have happened? I mean, the most outlandish scenario for a breakup is what ended up happening to me, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm just going, it couldn't get any worse than this. And out of the corner of my eye, I see a red, small creature walking by like this, tick, 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 tick. Just a most adorable thing ever. And I turned and I looked, and I forgot everything that was even wrong with me. And I kind of like just froze. And she of course didn't notice me, because who the hell would? So she continued to walk, and I guess she was going on a cigarette break. And I was like, I need to know what this is, what's going on. So I ended up forcing myself to stay there until she came back, because I was like, obviously she's got to come back. She looks like she's in work uniform. So she did. About 15 minutes later, she came walking back, and as a creepy stalker, I kind of followed and found out where she was going, and she ended up going to the blackjack tables, and I went, okay, must come back to the blackjack tables tonight. And I completely forgot all my problems. Like, everything was just immediately erased, and I was like, this right here, God, that could fix everything. So that night, I came back, and I had spent all my money prior to this vacation because I was so bummed out that I only had $100 to my name to last me 6 days in Tahoe. Gee, that's what a nightmare. So I looked around and I scouted at the table. Little do I know, she's on the high limit table, because they put the best looking girls on the high limit tables. And I said, screw it, I got to do it. So I took $100 and went over there. And high limits in Tahoe is not the same as Vegas. So it's like $25. So I'm making $25 bets.
Minimum, so, 25.
Yeah, so I literally have 4 bets to my name. And I sit down, and I didn't like introduce myself or anything like that. I just sat down and gave her $100, and she gave me 4 chips back, and I proceeded to play and win and play and win. So I started tipping her, and then starting a light conversation with her. And after a couple of nights of doing this, and I swear I started on $100, so it was like God wanted this to happen. So I ended up staying the whole time. My money lasted the whole trip from my winnings. I ended up leaving broke, but the 100 carried me through the week. So I was completely ecstatic because her and I exchanged information. So, and the rest is history for an old geezer like me. And the moral of the story, basically, and I'm sorry I haven't let you interject because this is all a one-sided conversation, but the moral of the story basically is just that, sometimes things look like they're falling apart. And I want anybody that's down and out and really feels like they're being crushed, and it might seem like the most devastating thing in the world, that even though things look like they're falling apart, sometimes they're falling into place. So just keep that in mind and keep your head up, because you don't know what's around every corner. So
yeah, it's true. You don't know what the bigger picture is, and sometimes you you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that this is what I needed or what I wanted.
Right.
So and you're like, if I had done it my way, I would have screwed things up so bad. Like, just trust, have faith, you know, it's going to get better.
Exactly. You want to go ahead and read what our next topic is there, Jess, so we can see what...
I cannot clear my throat. For about
Okay.
3 weeks now, I can't.
You want to step outside and go...
No, I'm not going to do that. Just bear with me while I sound a little raspy. Products, doing the opposite of what they are supposed to do.
Right.
Things like shaving cream making your hair grow back.
Well, let's not give it away, like, right off the bat. Okay, so here's basically what the story is with that. And, again, I'm sorry to cut you off, but we have to distribute this in a timely manner. Okay, so I honestly wonder, because of all the lying that goes on in advertising and stuff like that, we all, at least most of us know, that Diet Coke actually makes you fatter. Did you guys know that? And if you don't, Google it, and you'll see that it's a fact. The ingredients that are in Diet Coke actually will make you heavier than regular Coke. And the thing about it is, it's kind of like a marketing ploy. I'm probably not allowed to say this about Diet Coke, so I should just say diet drinks in general, because I don't want to just single out Diet Coke. But that they will have an adverse effect on you, and it's to get you to buy more diet soda. So I tested the theory, actually. As you can see, I have my goatee connects to my beard right here. Well, for the longest time, this didn't connect on this side, and it ended up looking like I was walking around with a backwards C, because I wanted it to connect, because I didn't like it bald in between. So what I started doing was putting shaving cream on it. And I'm not going to name the brand, because I already screwed up with Diet Coke, and they're probably going to sue me and throw me in a freaking hole and beat me to death.
I doubt it.
But I started putting shaving cream on it as if it was Rogaine, and lo and behold, within a few months, my hair grew in right there. So what I think is happening here is that sometimes, you know, because scientifically they know what the hell they're doing, like down to the T. And on a molecular level, they know exactly what's going on and what does what. Mm-hmm. So does products like Rogaine, not Rogaine per se, but products like Rogaine actually cause hair growth, or does it stunt the growth and actually make you bald and make you think you need more Rogaine? Think about it from a capitalistic point of view and experiment on your own, because I am really honestly open to see what's other people's experiences are with that, because I'm telling you for a fact that this happened. I put shaving cream on there every day for a few months, and I didn't shave. I just put it on there, and lo and behold, it connected. And it's still not as prominent as this one, but it connected. So, okay, so that's that. Do you have anything like that happens to you?
Like skin clearing products, like that you go to Rite Aid and you buy to clear your skin up with acne, a lot of times actually cause acne. They might seem to clear your skin up at first, but they're not. They make it worse, way, way worse, so that you keep buying it and you think the problem is you and not the product you're trying to use. So, there was something else too, but I can't think of what it was.
Yeah, sorry, I was switching cameras there. By the way, we got some new fancy little switcher in here, so we can change camera angles and stuff like that. So I was just testing it out while she was talking. And as you can see, that the camera isn't really directly on her, the one that I just switched to last time. And the reason for that is because we have Ed Mueller coming in here, and he's going to do some face painting, hopefully. Got our fingers crossed. And she's going to be scooting back, and so she'll be more in the line of the camera view. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully that will be going on, because we had some scheduling issues and we're not exactly sure if his time can permit him to do so. So, okay, speaking of diet, and again, I apologize to Diet Coke. I didn't mean to single you out. And I drink Coca-Cola every day. So, look, I'll show you. I've been drinking that since I was 16 years old, and I'm completely addicted, and I love it. So, okay. We got to talk about our diets, okay? Because as you guys can probably tell, I'm not exactly a thin person. I'm not fat by any means, but not a thin person. And she's very thin because she's always just constantly on top of it. But I like, my mom cooks really awesome, and I like food. And sometimes I just don't care. I have the most beautiful wife in the world. What's my incentive to diet? So now we're on
And I love him any way he is.
Right, and the same would apply to you. But I'm on a live TV show now, well, a web broadcast. I'm just going to call it a TV show, make it sound better than it is. And I'm on a live TV show right now, and I want to be able to look at myself without throwing up. So we've been dieting really hard, and she does what she calls the ketogenic diet, and I'm not exactly sure what that entails. I've been doing the same diet since a friend of mine who was a weight trainer, and no, I'm not trying to be a weight trainer. I don't want to be like this guy, I just want to be thin. But he was lifting as he was doing it. But I saw a diet that he did that lasted a month, and it worked. And I'm sure most of you that are weight trainers know about the diet. Basically, I eat very small portions, about like that much, every 2 hours, and it's typically baked chicken with no salt or nothing on it. I mean, it's the most bland thing, and it's really hard to do. And it gets your body to go into ketosis, a state of where it's burning fat, and
it thinks it's starving because it's in a calorie deficit. Typically,
is that what's happening? Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then on the 7th day, which is the very good thing, I'm allowed to cheat and eat whatever the hell I want, and typically it's Round Table Pizza Buffet, because Round Table is the best pizza place in the planet, and we weren't paid to say that, and I'm sure you know, because the show is not that big. So,
it'd be nice.
Yeah, but Round Table is like my favorite since I was a kid, and we only have one here in Vegas. There were 3, but one of them got kicked. But 2 of them couldn't make it because for whatever reason, Las Vegans. Okay.
I think it's actually vegans. Vegans. I'm not sure.
We're all vegans in Las Vegas, apparently.
Vegans.
They are all anti-Round Table, apparently. But this one on what is the street that it's on? It's on Windmill and Eastern. Reopened, thank God, because we were deprived of Round Table, period. And I was losing my mind because it's my favorite pizza. But one finally came back on Windmill and Eastern, and it's packed all the time. So they have a $10 pizza buffet, and never mind. I'm going way. I digress. Sorry, I just love the pizza that much. And we're starving. So.
Yeah, Whole Foods vegan pizza is the thing for me. And normally, I'm normally raw vegan, but I'm doing the ketogenic thing. What he was saying with the baked chicken, I'm doing with like little pieces of plain tofu. So I'm not raw right now when I do a cheat day. It's all Whole Foods, and it's all vegan stuff, and it's so amazing. The pizza is so good.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's pretty much what I spend my time doing, is fantasizing about.
Honestly, I could go vegan if I had to. I'm not going to get into why I don't, because I don't need a bunch of vegans attacking me, and that's what you will do, because that's what you always do. Not her. She's the only vegan that doesn't do that. So, yeah, I definitely enjoyed some vegan food. So, but I can't really eat vegan food because I have celiac disease, and most vegan food is wheat-based products that are made to taste like other things, and I can't eat wheat. I need to be gluten-free. Now, how does he like Round Table Pizza? Well, that's why we get into why I'm heavy, because it bloats me up and shit, and it does all this other stuff. But I'm willing to put myself through that pain every once in a while for something that I really like. So
I'm probably the only vegan that would ever put their spouse on the paleo diet,
right? Which she did.
Heal them.
Yeah, which she did, and it worked. I had pernicious anemia and was bleeding from the gums and just all this crazy crap, and I didn't know what was wrong with me, and I was aching and hurting all the time. And my what was happening was my body, because it was starving. Well, basically, like, okay, you have what is it, like little molecules and stuff inside your stomach. I'm not using the right terminology here, but I'm not a scientist, so I apologize. But anyway, basically cells that are taking your nutrition and doing what it's supposed to do with it. And mine, because of the fact that I was gluten intolerant, none of the cells were absorbing anything, so I was literally dying from malabsorption. And so my body was taking it from my bones, the vitamins and nutrients that it need from the bones. So I was constantly in pain and stuff, and she put me on a paleo diet. And me not being a vegan, sure, I was all for it. So after a month, was it month or 2? I think it was 2.
It was about 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months of doing that and taking glyconutrients, and boom, all the symptoms went away. So now I'm in this balancing war, because I have the cure, So I kind of flirt with the devil and go to the other side every once in a while. And you caught me in a transition, and that's why I'm not looking as good as I should. So anyway, but it's accordance to the diet also, speaking of which, so as I said, the depravity of the diet is the fact that we don't eat the food. I mean, it's like we're eating every 2 hours, and it's just really small portions. And it's basically eating to live, not living to eat. And it's really hard to do. So as I said, on the 7th day, we're allowed to cheat, right? So my 7th day, when was our 7th day last time?
Sunday.
It was Sunday. Okay, so Sunday, we decided we're going to go, and we're going to chow down. Because we're allowed to eat literally whatever we want. And so I was like, screw it. It's cheap. It's the end of the month. We don't really have any money, so I'm just going to get a $4 4-for-4 thing at Carl's Jr., okay? And I'm going to take her after that to Whole Foods so she can get whatever she wants to pig out on. So it's like 10 in the morning, and we're like beating down the Carl's Jr. door because we're starving, right? So I end up ordering this 4-for-4 meal with 2 hamburgers and a soft drink and fries. Okay, so I'm like, take the wheel. You're going to drive yourself to Whole Foods while I shove this down my throat as fast as I humanly possibly can. So I open it up, and mind you, this is a meal I haven't had in 7 days of starving, basically. And I took one bite, and like ketchup and mustard just squirted everywhere. For some god-awful reason, when you opened up the cheeseburger, on both sides of the bun, the top and the bottom, were smothered in ketchup and mustard on both burgers, and I don't understand why they did that. I understand that people like ketchup and mustard and stuff like that, and trust me when I tell you that this was an exuberant amount. It was not.
Yeah, it was bad.
The bun wouldn't even hold its consistency and integrity because it was falling apart from how liquidated it was with mustard and ketchup. And it basically ruined my meal, and that was my one meal, and I was pretty upset about that. So, but the reason why I took the cheaper route and went to Carl's Jr. was because A, I like fast food, and B, I wanted to save money because I wanted her to have the majority of the money that we were dwindling down to, so that she could have whatever she wants. So we get to Whole Foods, and we're standing there like, I mean, we're like, oh, and she's dying. She just wants to eat so bad, and she goes to the bakery, and you can take the story in from here, and I'm going to interject when you get to the part. Okay, go ahead. Tell what happened at the bakery.
Okay, so my favorite thing, like one of my favorite things in the world to eat, is this cookie sandwich at Whole Foods, where it's 2 of their vegan cookies with vegan buttercream in between them. It's so good. So I wanted to try the peanut butter and jelly one, and because I haven't eaten, I'm like looking at the one that I want. And of course, it's the one at the front of the case where the guy can't reach it, so he has to come all the way around and open the case from the front to get me the one peanut butter and jelly cookie sandwich that I wanted. And he was so sweet and understanding about it. I felt so bad, but I knew I wanted that one.
Right. So basically, to illustrate what the story is that there was a specific one that she wanted, and not that I'm your interpreter, but I just want to clarify what's going on. So the guy behind the counter seemed frustrated when she was like, "I want this one." And he came out from around the counter, and you could tell that he was kind of smirking, like, "Wow, you pushy bitch, you know," or something to that effect. And it wasn't even like that. It was so I explained to him, "Look, we've been on a diet. We haven't eaten basically for 7 days." And his attitude totally was just, I mean, he was super sweet about it and everything. And his name was Jeremy at the Whole Foods on Las Vegas Boulevard, right by the airport. And so we wanted, because we're going to do a shout-out segment that's like, what were we going to call it? Honorable mentions and dishonorable mentions.
Yeah.
So people like Jeremy, we wanted to mention because of the fact that he was so attentive to us and understood where we were coming from. So that was really cool, I thought, of Jeremy. So thank you for that, sir. Thank you for taking care of my wife and treating her with kindness.
Yes, it was really sweet.
Because most of the people at Whole Foods don't, and nothing against Whole Foods, but God, right? Am I right? I mean, I'm not lying.
I mean, it's true.
They're like, "Why are you here? I'm better than you."
If you're here in Vegas, go to Natural Grocers in Henderson. They are the sweetest people.
Oh my gosh! Right?
Yes.
So Natural Grocers, right? It's
yeah,
grocers.
Natural Grocers.
And it's on Sunset. You know, when you go down the bottom of the hill at Sunset and Sunset, it's on the left-hand side as you're heading to the Galleria Mall on the corner of Sunset and Arroyo Grande, and it is like half the prices of Whole Foods, and everybody there is so nice. I mean, we're there like every other day, or at least more than like every day. Yeah. And they're just like, every time we walk in the door, they're like, hi, and the place is typically empty. And I'm saying right now that the reason why we're putting them on blast is because we want people to start shopping there, because A, they carry a lot of the same products that Whole Foods does at half the price, and they're empty, and we don't want to see them go anywhere because we like paying those prices and being treated with kindness. So,
yeah, they're great.
If you are into holistic foods and healthy food, please go shop there at Natural Grocers. Okay. Is there anything else that we wanted to talk about on the diet issue?
Not for right now.
Not for right now. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna move on to a little light bit of politics about the flight ban thing.
The immigration ban.
I don't know what the hell's going on with that. I know this. There is definitely a battle being waged between CNN and Donald Trump, because he didn't let that one reporter speak. And I don't know if we're getting all the news, because from what I've heard, not much has changed. Tomi Lahren, is that her name? Tomi Lahren from Fox?
I don't know.
The hot blonde chick? You know who I'm talking about? The hot blonde
I just
chick.
don't know her name.
She explained that not much has actually changed, and I don't want to go left or right on this. We're just bringing up topics, and for those people that can see two sides, and switch back and forth and try to deduce out of what's being said on both sides, and deduce what they determine, instead of being following either way like a sheep. I'm not into anybody just going, oh no, it's Trump, so we got to support him. If Trump does something shitty, then we got to not support him. If he does something cool, then we should support him. I don't understand why it's got to be one way or the other. It's like, I run into that problem a lot of times with people. It's just like, there's a group of people that don't like me, and even if I come up with a good idea, they're like, you're shit, now go die. And it's like, it's ridiculous that people are like that, because I can look at somebody that I can't stand, and if they say something that I agree with, I'm gonna go, well, I don't really like that guy, but I give him props on that sentence that he just said. So, but I don't know. I don't really know exactly what's going on because we don't follow politics all that much. So I'm sure some of you are screaming at us right now and calling us stupid or whatever. But as far as I know, the flight ban is just a thing that's like a filter. They're just trying to filter and make it stronger filters.
Yeah, not much has changed.
And I don't really understand why that's a problem. I really don't. One thing that Tomi Lahren said that resonates in my mind is, she said, look, it's not a ban against Muslims, it's a ban against certain countries. And there are 60 or so or 30 other countries with Muslims that are predominantly Muslim that aren't being banned. And but the thing that she said that resonated to me is like, look, you don't lock your front door because you don't like the people outside. You lock your front door because you love the people inside. And I have to agree with that. So I don't know. We'll take your comments, and like I said, we can look at things objectively and go on. If an argument is presented in a good manner and doesn't start with "you dumb shit," then we're willing to listen. But if you're just going to start name calling and trying to,
I think
where do you live? I'm going to kill you or whatever.
But yeah, the Trump thing, honestly, this seems like mass hysteria, and nothing ever good comes out of that. Like, I'm reminded of the Salem witch trials, and guess what? 300 years ago, everybody that partook in those and saw them believed in them. They believed they were right. They believed in witchcraft. They believed that they, belonged to the devil and all this other stuff. We can look back now and be like, oh my gosh, that was so stupid and pointless. And I see the same thing going on now. It's just mass hysteria. People don't even know why they're doing something or what they're doing, or they're just being told to do it, or they're told that everybody's doing it. And it's not good.
Absolutely. So, let's see, what are we looking at time-wise here? 6:30, okay. We got about 15 more minutes until we bring Ed and Cheri Mueller in here to do some face painting, and like I said,
they're gonna do me as a unicorn.
Hopefully,
that sounded
if things
really
go
weird.
right.
That came out wrong.
They're gonna do me as a unicorn.
Yes,
yeah.
I just realized. I'm like, okay, never mind.
There's plenty of people that are watching that are like, oh, we'll do you as a unicorn.
I need a
We got 15 minutes, Cheri. 15 minutes, please stand by. Thank you very much. Okay. So we wanted to get to, speaking of how I feel about Cheri, how I know Cheri is because I used to do a gig up, I don't even want to say where I did the gig, but I used to do a gig, and she was also working at the same place that I was doing the gig, and, you know, she saw what I did, we liked each other, we ended up, you know, becoming friends on Facebook and stuff like that, and we've stayed in touch ever since. She's gotten Jess and I work with our DJ company called Mr. and Mrs. DJ here in Vegas, and she, I mean, we love her to death, and she's the big sister I never had. And some people are like, well, you know, probably watching that are like, Frankie, you have 5 sisters. And the case is, I reinstate what I said, and that is Cheri Mueller is the big sister that I never had, because family isn't always your best. Have your best interest, and we wanted to talk about that a little bit because of the fact that there has been a lot going on with us as far as that goes. As I said, I do have 5 sisters, and basically how I feel about the situation is most people have this idea in their head that blood is thicker than water and all that, and I say poppycock to that, because I think that you can't choose your family as a better, you know, adage. You can choose your friends, you can't choose your family. And when it comes to me, it's like most of the time I choose my friends to be my family. And it's not that I hate all my sisters or anything like that. It's just that some of them were really hard on me for a long time and basically sabotaged a lot of things that I was trying to do. And I don't appreciate it, so I stepped away and we cut a lot of evil out of our life. And there was something that you said, but I'm going to let you tell your story about your cutting out of problems. So go ahead and tell your story.
Well, I mean, for one thing, some of your biggest haters are family, and they get away with doing the most ridiculous stuff to you because they're family.
Right.
And it's just, you can cut anybody out for any reason. It's kind of like having cancer. I mean, just because you have a tumor, and at one point, you know, it was part of your body. It is part of your body. It's attached to you. But is that a reason to not cut it out? No. This thing is just sucking your life out of you. It's going to kill you. And you have to take good tissue out with the tumor. You just have to. And you have to look at people like that. If they are negative to you, if they are bringing you down, if they're causing you to feel oppressed, abused, depressed, anything like that. My situation, I just wish that I blame myself, and I wish I had been a better daughter, but I also wish that I was loved no matter how messed up I had ever gotten, because I have friends that have always accepted me, you know, and I'm not saying that I deserve to be accepted or that I deserve to be loved or anything like that, but family is supposed to still love you no matter what you do or what you go through or how many times you do it. And if I have friends that aren't related to me that have always understood like problems with mental illness and stuff like that, then why not my own family? So, you know, I'm an only child and everything, and I'm just like, okay, you know, I can't be judged anymore. I see people being accepted for who they are or what they're doing, and I'm like, well, I wish that was me. Like, I wish, you know, and then I end up having negative thoughts about myself. Like, I wish I deserved that. I wish I hadn't done this and hadn't done that. And you can't live your life like that. You just can't. And if somebody keeps reminding you of that, or if somebody keeps making you feel bad, especially about stuff you can't change,
right,
just don't have anything to do with them.
You know what I found that bothered me the most about family, other than just the out and out just hatred, was the fact that, like, I always liked the fact that when you met people, you could just walk up to them and they would, you know, you could basically build a picture of yourself of how you are now, not how you used to be. Mm-hmm. And you can start your life from that point forward. And pretty much the people that you meet from this day forward will look at you in that light because they don't know your past. I've always found that family members, whenever I'd be in a room full of people that just thought the world of me because I was in a good place in my life when they met me, and then I integrated that with family, that family would be like, well, when he was 7, he shit on a boat,
Right.
And it's like, why did you have to go there? There's no reason that you have to try to belittle me and make me feel like crap for that. Crap, get it? Because they shit on a boat. Yeah, no, I think I was actually like that's a true story, by the way. I crapped on a dance floor of a boat when I was like 6 years old. It was an age that was too old to be crapping on a boat, but I pulled my pants down because I was pissed off or whatever because I was a spoiled little brat and I crapped on a dance floor. So there you go. There's my humiliating story that if I ever became famous or anything, you're going to hear anyway because my siblings are going to write about it and tell you what a disgusting human being I am or something.
And it sucks because I really love my family. I look up to them. I think the world of them.
Yeah.
But they don't of me, and that's really painful. And they would say, well, that's my fault because of bad decisions and blah, blah, blah. But it's just very unforgiving. It's very, like, I felt constantly, for years, like I was like the worst person that they could have as a daughter kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, it's heartbreaking, but it's just not healthy to have, that
exactly
with you.
I mean, it really got to the point where her and I were dealing with some out-and-out evil intentions from family members, and so we don't want to name any names or make anybody feel bad, but basically if you ever hear anything about us from our family members, it's because they just want to do that for some reason. So and to the other people out there, if you have a brother or sister or whatever and you're being shitty to them, why don't you just stop it and actually love them and encourage them and help them along the way, as opposed to just constantly putting them down. Life shouldn't be a competition. So I wanted to talk about real quick about the actors. The whole Meryl Streep thing, and recently Stranger Things, which I think Stranger Things was handled with a lot more finesse, but it was still about politics and world issues and stuff like that. I want to address all of our actors and entertainers out there. Will you please shut the fuck up about your political views? Please. You are an actor, and I don't want to hear about your political beliefs, and I don't think anybody else really wants to hear your political beliefs. Accept your reward for your acting abilities and move the fuck on, because I don't want any acting in politics any more than I want politics in acting. Okay? So, just stop. Stop
it does go both ways. There's a lot of politicians that are just they're putting on an act.
Seriously, it's like every time there's ever been like a sports figure that's a huge sports figure, and he ends up being a rapper or some shit like that. It's like, do you want to take Kanye West and suit him up and put him on a field? No, you don't, because he's gonna get crushed. Well, most of you would, but so don't do the opposite. I don't want to see you rap, dude. Play football. Do what you do. So.
Stick to what you know.
Stick to what you know. And I'm not saying that people can't broaden their horizons or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, especially when it comes to political views, like don't use your celebrity as a platform to preach your bullshit. Just act and accept your award. Thank us and move on. That's all with that. Okay. So it's time for us to get on to our next segment, unless there's anything that you want to follow up on. No?
Not really.
No. Okay. So this is a segment that we're trying to start here called 15 Minutes. And we have fancy music for it.
And now it's time for the portion of the show where we bring a random person into the studio and interrogate the crap out of them. But it's all in the name of fame. It's time for 15 Minutes. Come on in. Sit yourself down in the hot seats. Come join us.
Let's see. Sorry, we're just trying to get Ed. We have Cheri and Ed Mueller in here, and we're just trying to get them situated. So bear with us real quick while we get this situated, because we're in a tight little spot. So we got a chair for you under there if you need, and I can scoot in some, and she can scoot back a little, actually, into that corner, or however you want to do it. Okay, so let's move our camera position here. Sorry for all the noise, everybody. We're trying to get situated. And let me switch to camera 2 here so we can see what Ed's doing. Okay, so that's Ed Mueller that you're looking at, everybody. He is co-owner, right? Of Art Party for You. And the voice that you're going to be hearing, so why don't you go ahead and scoot into your microphone a little bit more there, Cheri. The person you're going to, or you can actually pull that towards you too. It works that way too. So you got Cheri Mueller here, and she is from Art Party for You. How are you doing, Cheri?
I'm great. Thank you for having us on tonight.
Of course, of course. So tell us a little bit about your company, okay, Cheri?
We've been here in Las Vegas for about 7 years. We are a veteran-owned company. So Ed is a retired vet, U.S. Navy, go Navy. And he's been actually an artist for, well, as long as I've known him. And we've been together almost 30 years. But he has been professionally working as an artist for about 15. He does everything from oil painting to acrylic painting, face painting, body art, theatrical makeup, you name it.
Nice.
So he's pretty talented, and I think I married well.
I think you did too.
Yeah.
Plus, he's a swell guy and fun to hang around.
Mm-hmm. You know, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
So Jessy had mentioned that she wanted to be a unicorn,
Yes.
but we decided that, yes, as much as we love unicorns too, we're going to actually make her a really fierce-looking tiger, because if you guys don't have the pleasure of knowing Jessy as I do, she is amazing and she is fierce.
Oh, thank you.
So we wanted to show how fierce she really is, and and how talented Ed is.
Absolutely. So, okay, great. Cheri, I have a few questions myself.
Okay.
For you.
Shoot.
I know that, I've done some stuff like the Balloon Festival with you,
Yes.
which again, thank you very much for that.
You're very welcome. I enjoy working with you.
I think we had a good turnout, and I think it was awesome. And I have seen what you've done with kids, and there is actually some video footage of you on our IC10s page.
Yes.
Check that out on YouTube. So I've seen what you've done kid-wise. I want to know what is the most awesome reaction you ever got from a child for doing something in a party, like let's say either whether it be from face painting or a prize that you gave away or something to that effect. What really warmed your heart and caught you off guard and took you aback?
When you get kids that are a little hesitant about face painting and they don't really know if they want to have it done, but they'll sit there and they say, I want a Pikachu. And so you paint a Pikachu mask on them, and then you turn around and I watch Ed or one of my other employees hold a mirror up to them, and all of a sudden their eyes go really, really wide. And the look of wonder, and that's why we do what we do.
Wow.
And
okay, yeah.
it's fantastic.
I can relate to that. Just to share a little bit of my own story, back when I was living with my parents when I was younger in San Jose, California, I used to deck the house out Halloween-wise, and I mean it was like the Haunted Mansion. Like I literally made videos and put TVs and huge giant Grim Reapers and stuff, and got dry ice and went all out.
I knew we were supposed to be friends,
and I was the only one that I knew that was doing anything that elaborate at that time. This was a long time ago. And so this little kid that was dressed like a football player, I'll never ever forget it as long as I live. So my dad was out there standing proud because his son had done something that all the neighbors were just like, oh wow, this is amazing. So I'm standing there in the hallway putting treats in this kid's basket, and he looks up at me and says, did you do this? And I said, yeah. He goes, this is so cool. And I still remember it to this day, because he was like 7. I was expecting him to be scared out of his mind,
right.
But he wasn't. He was just completely appreciative. Okay, so now I want to ask you, without naming any names,
right.
What's the brattiest situation that you've had to deal with a specific kid or kids in general?
Kids in general.
Okay.
Children who have maybe not been parented as well as others.
Wait, you do this for millennials? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's funny. They're not the millennial. They're not children of millennials. They are children of maybe a tad more liberally parented children who believe that they don't have to wait in lines.
Right.
Or don't have to say thank you. Or want everything now. And they want it
And you're
for
sure you're
free.
not talking about millennials?
No. You know, my millennials that sit down and sit in their chair, they want to be painted as Pikachu or their growing up favorite things, and they giggle and they laugh, and then they're putting their friends in the chair, and
Right.
But it's the 8 and 9-year-old that's been interestingly parented.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I tell you a millennial joke since I won't let it go? And
You apparently have us millennial deal today.
I do, and it's only recent because I never even used the terminology until recently.
Okay.
I made up my own millennial joke. Would you
All
like to
right.
hear it? Okay. How many millennials does it take to change a light bulb?
I don't know. How many millennials does it take to change a light bulb?
It doesn't even matter because as soon as they enter the room, their brilliance illuminates the room.
That's almost fabulous.
Right. It's almost fabulous. Exactly. And my delivery sucked as a comment. So, no offense to millennials. I know plenty, and not
I
all.
have a couple.
Not all of them suck. I will say that.
Mine don't.
Right. And some of them actually have really good intentions. They just don't know how to harness it. So I'm
They
just
don't know better.
right. Hey, you stop moving over there. You just get your tiger face painted. All right. Your mic's barely even on anyway. So, okay. Cheri, I'm gonna zoom in real quick. Before I do that, why don't I let you tell us and enlighten us on? Is there another aspect of your company?
Yeah, actually, we kind of do it all. I overheard you talking earlier about how we met, and we are a full entertainment business. We do the face painting and the balloon art and the temporary tattoo work and things like that. But we've also partnered with some really great talent in the Valley where we can offer DJ services. Mr. and Mrs. DJ, where we can offer some absolutely great characters, princesses and superheroes and photo booths, that sort of stuff. And we're really good rates.
Yeah.
The other side of our business is art, completely artistic. Ed is an artist, and
I see that.
we do well. He also paints on canvas. As much as she's a beautiful canvas,
Right.
He actually paints on canvas, and we have a sip and art business where we can go into people's homes and we can teach them how to paint with acrylics or with oil paints or watercolors, and we also do it with kids.
Nice.
We don't give them wine.
No.
We sugar them up, and then we send them on their way.
Right, which is basically the same thing.
Well, exactly.
Sugar is wine for kids.
There you go. I hadn't thought about it that way. That's fantastic. So, we can pretty much do it all. I've been an event planner for about 7 years, and I pretty much know everybody in the business here in town. So if you guys need anything planned, give us a call. We like to keep our prices reasonably low, because the reality is not everybody can afford $125 to $150 an hour for certain services.
Right.
So we're going to be your reasonably priced alternative, and we have all of our licensing, and we have all of our insurances and everything like that, and you're going to get just the exact same quality, probably even some of the same people that you would have hired for twice the price.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We work with a lot of the same people.
Right.
We just, I believe in paying people what they're worth
Yeah.
and not charging people an arm and a leg.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you'll keep people longer that way, and they'll work harder.
I think so. I think Vegas is a small town.
And it's a transient town, so I do see why people do try to swindle people and stuff. I do see that because it is a small town, but I still believe that honesty pays in the long run.
Karma's going to get you in the long
run. Absolutely. Okay, smallest party you've ever been hired to do. Smallest meaning
party.
least people, smallest area, whatever it means to you.
Smallest party. We got a phone call for a grandmother whose grandson was in town, and it was his birthday, and it was a grandmother, a grandfather, and a kid. And Ed got to face paint all three of them, and he tied balloons for all three of them, and And, he was there for an hour, and they hung out, and it was great.
That is cool.
They call us every year.
Nice.
So it works. And the parties have gotten bigger as the child has gotten older.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, other side of the coin, biggest party you've ever done. How many people?
Probably close to 500. It was a first birthday for a young Filipino boy. And it was at Sam's Town. It was huge. It was this huge party.
Okay.
And we were hired to do balloons and face painting, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
And
that's great. However, does festivals count? Because there was 5,000 at the balloon festival.
Those are festivals. So you said party.
Yeah. Well,
Festivals
it is a party.
are
A
different.
festival could be a party.
That was a party. That balloon festival was fantastic. We have worked with Southern Hills now for 2 years.
Yeah.
And their Hot Air Balloon Festival is a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to working with them again this year in 2017.
Yeah. Dude, we love Southern Hills because they cut melanoma off of her face.
Oh,
Did you know that?
I did not know that. That's
Okay.
where.
Yeah, it happened right there.
So do we need to give them a melanoma discount?
Yeah.
Sorry, that was my attempt at a bad joke.
No, I know. You know what? The strangest thing, we've never divulged this. We were doing a series on YouTube, okay? And the series of YouTube was dealing with what was going on with Jess, and she had, as you know, carcinoma on her face.
Right.
Okay. Several people looked at it. Several people that were in the position to diagnose on site what something is, and they told her that it looked like it was basal cell carcinoma. And so we went in, and I guess like the procedure is to just remove it and then biopsy it later.
Okay.
So she didn't have insurance at the time, and this is why we love Southern Hills so much, because they took us in anyway and did that for her, okay? And they didn't know that I was connected with you or the Balloon Festival or anything. And they did that for her, and they sent it off for biopsy. Now, the only complaint that I would have, if there could be one for something so gracious, is that we were calling forever to try to find out what the prognosis was. And they told us that they were going to give us the results within just a few weeks. It ended up taking a few months. And we just before Christmas found out that Jessy does not have cancer.
That is probably the best Christmas present you got.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And we honestly don't know if there's, for people that know, I'm not typically a religious person. I don't know exactly where I stand in religion. But the fact that looked like divine intervention to us, because not a single person even turned their head to say, well, maybe it could be. Everybody said, that's basal cell carcinoma. Everybody.
And it wasn't.
And it wasn't. Just before Christmas.
Best present.
It was amazing.
Thank you very much, Southern Hills.
Yes, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what Ed's doing over here so we can focus on her for a while in the progress of that.
So what he's doing is, what he did is he did a 3/4 mask on her as a tiger. And this is,
Let me ask you, what is 3/4, and what defines that it's a 3/4?
It doesn't go all the way down the face.
Okay.
And the reason we do a lot of times a 3/4 mask on people is so they can still eat. They can still drink. And especially around children, we try not to go much farther down the cheek and over the lips, just because kids,
Our kids.
they're kids.
Right.
He's really being gentle. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's bringing it down on her neck. He's going to bring some of the look of the tiger down into her. I don't know how rated your show is, whether we're G, PG, or
we're
R.
PG-13.
We're PG-13, so we're going to keep it PG-13. We have been known to work at a couple of the local clubs where we have done less than PG-13 work.
Oh! Hold the phone.
What?
Let me switch to you.
Okay.
Do tell more.
Well, we have worked for a couple of adult clubs here in town. Our favorite...
You can mention names as long as it's okay with them.
Well, the two clubs we've worked for Babes, and we've worked for Palomino Club.
Nice.
Babes we've worked for several times. We have a couple of favorite dancers we do like to work out there. So, if you're watching Lily, and Hey Katerina, they've also let us paint them and use them as models.
Nice.
And then the Palomino Club, we worked for the owner, Adam, over the Halloween weekend, 3 nights, which was amazing because he puts on a big haunted house at his club. And the Palomino Club is the oldest strip club here in town that's fully nude and serves liquor.
Grandfathered in so that the same rules don't apply. It's the only place that has liquor and full nudity.
Exactly. And so
and I'm capitalizing on the fact that my wife can't talk right now to explain, because she's wondering why I know this, but what are you going to do?
It's local Vegas history. As a wife of an artist, I constantly get asked, how come I don't get upset when he's in there painting strippers or dancers? I'm sorry. Let's use the politically correct.
Right. Because some of them are probably going, the millennial strippers. They're pissed at you.
The reality is, I go in with him and I talk to the girls and I help them decide what they want to get painted, and he's painting them or my other artists are painting, and I go home and we talk about the girls, and he's like, well, which girl are you talking about? I'm like, the really pretty one. He's like, well, which really, really pretty one? I said, well, the brunette with the, really amazing body. And he's like, what did I paint on her? And that's all he can remember is what he paints on her.
Wow.
And not who it is or what it is. So they
what
just become...
That's a waste, Ed. Why are you doing this?
All of his friends want to intern with him when we do this. And it is my male employees' favorite jobs when we go out to some of the clubs. Yeah. So shout out definitely to Palomino Club.
You did say that Dusty was watching. So yeah.
Oh yeah, Dusty. If you're still watching, come back out to visit us in Vegas. All of his Navy friends are jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, yeah, it's good. I'm not going to lie. I like the jobs, too. The girls are great.
Yeah.
I would not change a thing.
If I was in your position, I would not change a thing either.
Yeah. So what are you thinking of the
These
job?
are just words coming out of my mouth. That's all. I'm just trying to do a radio show, babe. So, sorry.
This is like the quietest I've ever seen her.
Because she's secretly plotting on how to kill me.
That's okay. Now she's going to have nails, and she's... Actually, he's doing a really good job. He's painted her pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Usually our paints last only about 5 to 7 minutes.
Right.
You gave him 15.
Gave him 15, yeah.
So that's pretty good.
And he could have sped it up or slowed it down, depending. But he's gauged it really well. Do me a favor, Cheri. Can you reach back behind you and open that door? It's actually getting hot in here. We haven't had this many bodies in here in a while. There we go. Perfect.
Oh,
isn't that nice?
Air. That's
like
really
a breath.
Nice.
Now we could go another hour.
Yeah, I could do that.
Turn into a full body paint. Then.
There you go. This
and
PG
on
show.
A different channel. Yeah.
PG.
There we go.
Nice. That is very awesome. Very, very awesome.
I used to be a body paint model for Opal in Tahoe.
What? Now explain what that is, babe.
Let
me turn up your mic. Hold on 1 second. Okay, go ahead.
I used to be a body paint model. They used latex paint, like the shiny latex stuff that peels off, and it's really kind of painful. And so I was one of the models in Tahoe for the club Opal.
Very painful paint.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Especially when they paint you everywhere and you haven't necessarily shaved recently.
Mm-hmm. It was bad, dude. It was.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You have to get under the hot water and let it run, and that kind of helps it come off. But I did not look forward to that.
This is Ed, everybody. Now that I have the camera on, you're not staring at his butt. This is Ed, who is doing all this nice artwork here from Art Party for You. I'm going to put your logo up. So what I want you to do when I put your logo up is actually verbally tell your telephone number and what you do, so that we can do it like a little tiny commercial. Okay, so either one of you, either Ed or you, just lean into the microphone.
Sherry's pointing at me.
Okay.
So,
nice.
If our logo is going on up there, of course we are Art Party for You. You can find us at artpartyforyou.com, which is the number 4, the letter U.com. Or if you need to call us on a telephone, if you still have one of those, it's 702-420-2665. And you'll certainly get in touch with somebody there who's very helpful and able to go ahead and get you set up with whatever your needs are. If it involves a paintbrush, we probably do it. So body art, canvas painting, various social art classes, balloon art, all sorts of things.
And if you just want to look and see what we do, we have an Instagram account, Art Party for You on Instagram.
Okay.
With Facebook page. I am the queen of social media.
Yeah.
Apparently now we're taking over podcasts.
Right. I mean,
Rock and roll.
There you go.
it's the next thing, so I mean,
It
we
is.
got to do it, right? So,
All right.
And this is much. I like this setup more than when people are just taking their cell phone into a nightclub or whatever and just went, hey, here's me doing a shot. You know what I mean?
Or maybe when you're using your cell phone and driving down the highway
Right.
and taking video.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I don't
Are
know
you
anybody.
guilty of that?
I don't know
No.
anybody that does that.
All right. Well, listen, I want to thank you guys so much for
Yes.
coming in. Jess, you look amazing. We're going to actually
you.
probably
I
do a
like it.
close-up
It's
of that
great.
as we're exiting, but I think I got a full shot of all of us. No, lined up I do. Okay, Jess, why don't you do me a favor? Take off your glasses and just put your face towards that camera. Sorry, that camera right there.
This
so
one,
everybody
because
can see
okay,
it. Yeah.
without my glasses, I literally
Yeah,
cannot
no.
see
That-
anything.
That's okay. You're looking in the right direction right there. Absolutely awesome. So hold still. There you go. Okay. Now I'm gonna switch to all of us so that we can say goodbye. But I want to thank you and Ed so much for doing this, and I also wanted to add for other people that are watching, as you can tell, Jess has a bit of a hair catastrophe going on
Yeah.
right now, and that is because we were doing videos and all this other stuff. So basically what has happened is she had dyed her hair black during some kind of rebellious stage that she was going through a couple years ago, and the roots have now grown out about this far, and we dyed it red, and it looked really cool because it was half red and half black. And now it is. She wants to go blonde again, and we need her to go blonde again. So if there's any hairdressers that are watching this that are from
Please.
Vegas, we will bring you on the show. I'm not saying you have to do her hair on the show, but we will bring you on the show, and we will plug whatever the hell you want us to plug.
And
Really
I'm
funny.
naturally blonde.
Kind of know one.
Do you?
Yeah, she's a princess.
Okay. Well, before you call her out here on the station,
Okay.
we got to confirm that with her.
All
But you
right.
can mention her and what she does, though.
Her name is well, I won't use her name, but she she's one of our princess people, and she's fantastic.
Now, what do you mean by princess people?
She owns a company that works with us, and they do the character visits. They do all the princesses and superheroes and everything like that. And you guys have met her, so you
Yeah, of course we have.
you do know who
I'm just
she
playing
is.
DJ. That's all. I have
Yeah,
to. I got to
you
interview
do know
you.
who she is, and it's Neverland Parties LV. Is
Dot-
her
dot LV?
Yeah, dot L,
Okay.
NeverlandPartiesLV.com.
Oh, LV.com. Okay.
Yes, and her name is Kristen Krill, and she's fantastic.
Yeah.
And yes, but we liked the tiger look because of her hair catastrophe.
Yes.
Yeah.
It actually
so
works
it
well now.
looked well on her.
Yeah, we might call you back if somebody doesn't come fix her hair catastrophe soon.
You just paint me like that.
Then we'll
every
just
day.
We're
do
gonna
this for the
body
next
paint.
video.
We're just gonna body paint her.
That works too.
There you go.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
I thank you guys so
Thank
much. I
you,
really
guys.
appreciate you guys coming out. My shoulder's still messed up, so sorry about my little.
I'm going to leave this with you.
All right.
Here, I'll shake your hand too.
All right. You're gonna shake more than that later.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate
Yes,
it.
thank you.
And don't forget, we're going to be here on Friday at 6 p.m. And I believe we have local comedian Jeremy Flores coming in, so you don't want to
Yes.
miss that. We're going to talk to him. He's been in town for a long time. I know a lot of you know his name. So we're going to, hopefully, if things go well, we're going to have Jeremy Flores sit in for the 15-minute segment of the show. Thank you guys so much for watching, and
thank
we will
you.
see you on Friday at 6 p.m. Thank you.